how do you overcome and like sort of how did you overcome and conquer the sort of shy inner child that you talked about after that experience of the pantomime, basically blowing your opportunity for a lifelong dream to be picked, and then kind of knocking your confidence? How did you overcome, conquer, or how do you because you say you bring that knock with you through your life as an adult as well. How do you constantly face that, overcome it every day?
It's a good question because there's not I don't think there's a really simple, straightforward answer to that, other than over many, many years, you learn to become more and more comfortable in your skin, being who you are. And, I've lived my life with anxiety since I was a kid, and worry. And, when I grew up and went to school, it was, oh, you're just a worrier, Gavin. You're what we call a worrier. But nowadays, I wouldn't be called a worrier in school. I would be told that I have, anxiety. I would be
Right.
there would be names and terms for it now, and I would probably go and have meetings with particular professionals that would help me to work that one out. But I think growing up, for your viewers and listeners, the story you're referring to is, when I was 5 and desperately wanting to be in the school pantomime. When I got my chance, I went from having this feeling of such excitement and adrenaline to potentially being in this show to, it was like the camera in my head spun around. So instead of sitting watching the show and seeing myself up there, I was now on the stage looking at an audience looking at me, and I all of a sudden had this feeling. Well, I had a feeling that I'd never experienced before. I know now it's anxiety and fear and things like that, but at the time I had never felt it quite at that height. And I'm like most humans. I have a kind of low level functioning anxiety most of the time. We all do. We have to. It keeps us alive. We need anxiety in our lives. But every now and then it explodes and it functions at a high level, and my brain breaks a little bit, and I struggle with that. But I think my passion to and my purpose, if you like, to get out there and help people and support people, I think is the thing that's taken me through it. Because I left home, I went off to train as a primary school teacher for 4 years. It was putting me up in front of an audience every day, where my job is to help and support and nurture and inspire and instill belief in these young people's minds and hearts, all the way through to becoming a trainer, to becoming a keynote speaker, to, and then in amongst all of that, traveling the world doing stand-up comedy, which was my absolute dream, and I've managed to fulfill some huge ambitions during that time, whether it was Melbourne Comedy Festival in Australia, the Fringe, gigs in London. We won one of the big awards at the Fringe, and so on and so on. But throughout this whole time, I'm that guy that is pacing up and down backstage thinking, why am I doing this? I could have a normal job. I could turn up 9 o'clock, sit in front of a screen. That's funny because that's actually what I do now that COVID's hit. But I leave. I could leave at 5 o'clock and switch off and not worry about it and go home and be with my wife and kids. But that's not who I am, Ben. I have this absolute underlying need and want and desire to get up in front of people and put smiles on their faces, make them laugh, and make them help them to feel great, and help to challenge their mindsets and their attitudes to help them to go and do some great stuff. And I've been very lucky that I've been able to put that into the books now as well. But I think I think in terms of how I deal with it, I just keep going. I think you have to just keep going. I think it's too easy to. Don't get me wrong, we can all have our down days, and it's okay to have them. One of the lines we wrote in Shine was like, welcome them in, show them round, just make sure you show them the door again, or else they stay and they live with you these days. So it's a case for me of keeping going, surrounding myself with upbeat, positive, supportive people. I've removed a lot of arseholes out of my life, surround myself with good people, and I run a lot. And that helps massively.